Hi guys, Shyla Colt here with a big book haul. This one is big-ish because it's part research and part pleasure and a little bit present-y. Yes, I have everything covered. I'm going to start off with the majority of books that are for research. You guys know by now that I'm an author, so a lot of times when I buy books, it's actually for research. And I tend to buy more books that are for research than are for pleasure. So you'll notice a trend there. Most of the ones that are for pleasure I end up borrowing. Because as I said probably a million times before, my house is only so big and I can only have so many books and so many mugs. I dream of a day where I can have as many mugs and many books as I want. Dreams and goals are real, people. We're going to start off with this, which is the Mammoth Book of Bikers. It has a bunch of different contributors. This is just a book of actual accounts with outlaw bikers. This is research for me because I actually have a romance series where they are in an MC, which stands for Motorcycle Club. So you'll see me with quite a few of these because I try to keep it as realistic as possible. Ghost Sightings, The World's Spookiest Cases by Brian Inez, which is to help me with a paranormal series that I am currently developing. Barnes & Noble, they got me with a treasury of Irish fairy and folk tales of Norse mythology. Ghostly Adventures by Christopher Balzano. Now we're moving into pleasure. I could not leave this on the shelf. Not only is it an anniversary edition, what they have done is taken the classic episodes and turned them into stories, which is perfect because my children are now getting into Star Trek. So I want to read and compare them as I watch each episode, right? Cool, right? I know that my Trekkies are out there and they feel me. I was really excited to get this one. I actually walked away from it the first time I saw it and told myself, no, you don't need it. It didn't work because I went back and got it anyway. What we're going to get into is my very first big haul from Book Outlet, and I'm super excited to get into it. This new policy where if it's $35 or more, your shipment is free. That was my goal, so that was my limit. I wanted to get enough to get the free shipping because it just made more sense to me. So I picked up The Secret Life of Sparrow Delaney because it just looked really cute. So Sparrow Delaney does not want to be a medium like her 6 older sisters, her mother, and her grandmother. She doesn't want to hear, smell, or talk to ghosts. Clearly, she can't help it because she does do all those things, but she tries to make it to where no one else knows that she does those things. So that right there just caught me because I want to see what's going to happen. The secret's going to come out. You can't hide something like that forever, and I want to be there when it does. I think this is going to be a really cute read. Next, I picked up Unspoken. This was one of the ones I bought just for the cover. So this is going to be interesting. We're going to find out what this is about together. I picked up The Unnaturalist by Tiffany Trent. Partially, the reason I picked this up is because I'm actually doing a steampunk readathon. I have to read at least 3 steampunk books this year, and I haven't gotten started. She wants to spend her life like her father, cataloging unnatural creatures in her father's Museum of Unnatural History. I mean, pretty much I was sold on that. I'm very curious to see what this sort of alternative universe is going to be like in New London. Poison Tree by Amelia Outwater Rhodes sounded very interesting, and as you can see, the character is a person of color, and I always support diversity. I've read a couple of Amelia Atwater Rhodes books before and I've enjoyed them, so I'm interested to get into this. I picked up Sylvia Brown, Visits from the Afterlife, The Truth About Hauntings, Spirits, and Reunions with Lost Loved Ones for research. Then we have Nora Roberts, The Key of Knowledge. I had a friend whose reading taste is similar to mine who raved about this series, the Key series. It sounds really intriguing. Laurie Handling, Air Tonight. It started in a small Scottish village. 3 babies escaped the wrathful witch hunter. Today, one young woman will learn about her secret history, her heart's destiny, and a sister she never knew she had. I'm just a sucker for element stories, especially when you have like the sister connection or the family connection. I really like things that are set in Scotland. So I'm very curious, especially since she's adopted and she's learning about that part of her life, and I love that discovery and that search. And I really like it when the character has no clue that they have this in them, and then they discover it and sort of that realization of it. I don't know, I'm a sucker for tropes about that. I really do. Maybe because you can sort of see yourself in those, where you can just be going on about your life and then realize that you're not what you thought you were. Blood Magic by Tessa Gratton. This is a gorgeous cover. I could not knock the price, especially not for a hardcover. Revis Across the Universe. I was just intrigued by this. Just the premise right here. Amy is cryogenically frozen passenger aboard the spaceship Godship. She has left her boyfriend, friends, and planets behind to join her parents as a member of Project Arkship. Amy and her parents believe they will wake up on a new planet, Centauri Earth, 300 years in the future, but 50 years before Godspeed's scheduled landing, Cryochamber 42 is mysteriously unplugged, and Amy is violently woken from her frozen slumber. The minute I read that, I was hooked. I do love a sci-fi, and this sounds sort of like a sci-fi mystery, and I'm wondering what's going to happen if she's the only one awake on this ship. So I picked it up. Now we come to the Prezzies. This is a copy of the Bane Chronicles. My friend loves him. And so when I saw this, I knew that I had to get this for her. I actually haven't read the Mortal Instruments series yet. I know I'm like the only one on the planet who hasn't. So I don't necessarily have a connection to him, and this was for her. So this was the gift portion. Next, we have a book that I was searching for, was super happy to see it for a bargain, Mad Miss Mimic. I think this sounds fascinating. It's set in London, 1872, and Lenora Somerville has this very weird speech disorder that causes her to stutter, but she can imitate other people's voices flawlessly. So they begin to make fun of her, and they call her Mad Miss Mimic. I just can't wait to read it. I want to know what her experience is like. I want to know why she has this particular problem. How is she going to overcome it? Not to mention the cover is gorgeous, right? Very excited to read this. This was one that I actually hunted for, and when I saw it, I snatched it up right away. Vampires Know Size Matters by Gary Bartlett. If you haven't read Gary Bartlett, she's adorable. I really love her books. So when I saw her, I just picked it up because I know every time I read her, I have a really good time. Pandamonium by Warren Fahey. I'm kind of going into it a little bit blind because I've never read Warren Fahey, and it sounds super interesting to me. Biologists Nell and Jeffrey barely survived their last encounter with terrifying invasive creatures that threaten to engulf the planet. They think the danger is over until a ruthless Russian tycoon lures them into an underground metropolis where they find themselves confronted by a vicious menagerie of biological horrors from their past and by entirely new breeds of voracious predators. This just appealed to the horror movie lover in me. I mean, this sounds like a lot of running, hiding, fighting for your life, genetically mutated creatures. I am there. Next we have The Survivor by Deanne Mills. Because in this one it starts off with, is it her next bestseller or her last word? So this is about an author. In The Chase, award-winning author Deanne Mills introduced you to the world of Karis Walker, who is the best-selling suspense author with a nose for trouble. In The Survivor, Karis gets the chance to tell her most powerful story yet, but will it revitalize her writing career or bring it to a violent end? I was just fascinated by this because this author is doing this research for a story that's going to be the best story she's ever going to tell, and apparently she gets in too deep. I'm intrigued, and I can't wait to get into it. My next book and final is Lux Opposition by Jennifer Armentrout. If you guys remember, I got totally hooked, and when I saw this and it was in the discount, I could not pick it up. I could not pick it up, and it's beautiful. Can you see it? It sparkles. Can you? Pretty. It's so pretty. Yeah, I gotta finish this series. I really liked the first two, didn't like the third book. I gotta read the fourth and just see what's gonna happen. I don't know. I have to know if it's what I think it's gonna be, or maybe she'll surprise me and it won't be. Did you read the Lux series? Did you continue it? Did you like the turn it took after the third book, or did you just stop? Let me know. Should I even bother? That is my book haul. Like I said, a little bit of research, some new authors to me, some new books that I find very interesting, and some prezzies, because who doesn't like to get something for someone else? That's my book haul. Thanks for hanging in there with me and joining me. If you've read any of these books, should I start with one of them in particular? What did you think about them? Did you like them? Leave your comments below and we'll talk about it. See you guys next time. Bye.